Jarvan, just a very...
We expected Orangulus to lose some picks, so Kai'Sa will be the second ban, or the next ban here for PvP in Phase 2, and Normal lose a champion, LeBlanc getting taken away there.
Yeah, I'd also like to potentially see the Ryze get hit. Both of these champions have historically done pretty well into the Akali matchup. Just anything that is able to kind of keep her at arm's length while she's going for the auto weave with the passive, where so much of the power of Akali is currently hidden, and this has to have been seen a mile away from the Isurus gaming lineup. I don't think it's any surprise to see a Kai'Sa as well as Kalista get taken away. They want to be able to play pretty stand in the bottom lane. I feel like Phong, they would be confident if Big Coral and Pallet come out of the laning phase with even or ahead, that they will get more done around the map in that skirmish phase.
Actually, Tom Kent going to be the pivot, so Ryze will be left open at least for the time being, as Pallet will lose a support for their 2v2.
And this makes a lot of sense to me because, you know, you can't hit 80 carry, but you can take away the best support that pairs up with something like Varus and make him susceptible to Oddie's gank. You know, if you're going to get rid of all the 80 carries on the side of Phong Vu Buffalo, you know, put some pressure on the bottom lane, you do have to be able to protect them in the draft phase, and especially if this is what they were going to go towards, picking the Ryze up for themselves, you know, don't want to ban away your own champion pool. So I think that's a really nice draft adaptation.
I mean, could have been a pick here, but kind of tricky with the selections already. There is the Ryze picked up for Isurus, Braum also the obvious one, and Tristana pretty quickly locked in.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously a second tier 80 carry there, but something that's very comfortable for Orangulus. Always was going to probably be a Braum pick out of that pick ban phase, because you don't take, when you're on red side, you don't want to give up both solo laners before you see theirs. Like, kind of the ultimate trump card is that last pick solo for the ultimate counter and to round out your composition. So, you know, that's once again, I've been impressed by Isurus Gaming. I'm really impressed with their kind of mentality and the experience they bring. And even though they had the disastrous 0-3 start, the ability to now fight back into this group is available to them. If they knock off Phong Vu here, does really mean that anything can happen in terms of results.
Yeah, again, they kind of need to win out, I think, to have the best shot at finishing there and getting some of those tie breaks on the board for themselves. But hey, I mean, yes, PBB, I think, still the favorites in the group after one day of play, but got to start somewhere, and that's going to be this pretty good draft, as last pick is Zoe, actually, for Null, who already used that pick to great effect against the Paul Bombers.
Yeah, and this exact combo, I think, was a combo they used against the Bombers, you know, the Jarvan as well as the Zoe, and being able to open up the River Highway, and that's what I was going to say. For Phong Vu, it's not just the fact they're 3-1, it's how they won their games. Like, they won their games in emphatic fashion, and did look to be at multiple stages of the game not only the better, you know, skill checking like high micro opponents, but actually have a fairly good idea how to close out, which has been kind of the struggle of Fenerbahçe and Bombers. So would like to see Isurus Gaming try and challenge them in that early game and really ask the ultimate question, which, you know, Bombers weren't able to do. And, you know, looking on the flip side of this combo, you're playing with an Akali Lee Sin, so you can fight the 2v2 if you want to, and certainly not something I'm used to seeing Seiya play. Historically has been much more of a control mage player, but does bring that level of pretty good skill when it comes to these finesse champions.
One of the nice things about solo lanes right now, you do have so many different options, whether it's assassins, whether it's control mages, even tanks, I'm sure, can be played in some of these areas. We've seen some Nautilus mid, although albeit not really a tank in that situation.
Yeah, so I want to check out a couple of things. So they're playing Ryze into the cannon. That's a really good matchup for Bugak. You're going to notice that he's gone with the phase rush for the trading patterns. Zeros still going with Kleptomancy. You can get some good farm going early game before those points into Ryze's Q come through. But the important one is Seiya's gone Electrocute. This means he's looking for that kill potential, you know, has the cleanse up and available, so if he tanks a bubble, he can still go for the executes. And I think a lot of this map is going to be heavily dictated around who gets priority mid lane, and whether it's going to be, you know, Null pegging bubbles at Seiya underneath the turret, or whether it's going to be Seiya opening up the map and being able to rotate around.
And as always, when we look to early game situations, we have to look at junglers. Lee Sin versus Jarvan, certainly more of a throwback jungle matchup, but we have seen these champions already. There's actually an early sweeper here from the Phong Vu Buffalo. Will take down that ward next to the Pixel Brush. So that's Melee there, starting with the early sweeper, gets the CS, and most importantly, denies that vision.
Yeah, a little bit surprised it didn't go over to Null, because I still believe if you get the first little bit of experience off the ward, then you can pick up level 2 on wave number 1. So would have liked to see that one given over, but in saying that, denial of vision level 1, creating any form of, you know, if we can start in 3 lanes and solo out of camp and create doubt of where Meliodas is, kind of becomes a nightmare for Oddie. To find the jungler of Phong before damage can be done.
And again, as I was talking about junglers, as far as influencing the early game, I think we have to look at both supports for these teams as well. Slow has looked pretty good despite the rough start here for Isurus, and Pala has kind of been the other surprise alongside his lane mate Big Koro, so maybe expecting some roams or maybe just some attention in the bottom lane as well.
Yeah, and I really like the champion pool of the supports at the moment, more towards the things like the Braum, Tarn, Kench, and Galio as opposed to the flashy engages we have seen one game of Rakan, but you know, things like Alistar kind of fall away, and that is when support becomes a little bit harder to spot what they're actually achieving on Summoner's Rift, but we've seen some great flanks coming out of Pallet on the Galio, and you know, Slow also having some critical saves for his AD carry. Certainly some of the unsung heroes of Summoner's Rift pastry.
Often as level 2 pretty early here for Isurus, but looks like Big Koro and Pallet just going to play safe and get these last few creeps and not feel too miffed about it. That does give some room here in the bot side. Melee trying to finish the crab, is forced to smite it. Oddie was going to steal it with that Q.
And I like that from Meliodas, because able to do double clear into bottom crab guarantees himself the level 3, also double scuttles, and this is just more of what we were talking about, opening up the river, making sure that you have burst rotate everywhere. You know, mid lane priority, so key, push the scuttle crab back towards mid lane, so even bottom lane rotating up isn't really going to affect anything there. Even though top and, you know, bottom lane looks to be pushing into Phong, the fact that Null will always be able to leave his lane first does create a pressure point for Meliodas to be able to play around.
Well, so you check in here in the top lane. As you mentioned, Klepto there for Zeros trying to get some value, but for now it seems like they're staying pretty even as far as that farm goes.
And this is kind of what you want as Ryze. Really is first shop coming in when you get access to the full mana pool that you're going to be able to look to bully. Range-wise, this is a very good matchup for Ryze, being able to empower, root him out of his ultimate and things like that. Very easy transition into things like Merc Treads with a Phase Rush means that very low kill threat going to be coming across. And that's kind of where Meliodas must be the trump card, you know, being able to lock down the highly, you know, mobile in terms of just running way of the Ryze and try and swing that matchup so Zeros can free himself up and get around the map and have better team fight impact.
Looks like Slow just hanging out in this brush here in bot lane for now, but I think Orangulus just trying to safely trim the wave. The vision has been dropping a little bit, although they do still have that ward. And as you said, Spawn, Meliodas already up towards the top side, going to sneak into this brush.
He's just doing a really good job right now, Pastry Time, of protecting his lane, because you have a look what's happened. Zeros has the wave frozen just off turret. We'll be looking for probably a first shot here, so he's just shadowing up into Fog of War, making sure if there is any gank, they're going to have bigger creep wave as well as counter gank potential. Oddie could have been up here, and they'll just recall together. That's just, you know, effective use of his time as his jungle is just starting to recall, and it's kind of the small things that are netting Phong through the advantages right now.
And while those little advantages can add up, a reminder that the stakes here for Isurus are very high. They will be eliminated from the knockout stage of play-in if they lose. That, of course, will hold true for this game and their subsequent ones, but I mean, it's just one of those situations where a team with a lot of experienced players, a lot of veterancy, if you can just dig deep and play one game at a time, that's all you need to at least maybe force a tie for yourself.
And once again, Meliodas has been able to spot out exactly where Oddie is on the map, ensuring that his lanes can play freely. See whether, once again, mid lane priority unlocks another Scuttle Crab towards him, because bottom is rotating up for potentially a fight here.
Oh, Oddie actually got that as well, and now they're going to go in onto Meliodas. North here, but the flash already out for the Jarvan. Oddie is going to follow. There's the flag and drag out. Now North forced a real flash away, but he does get the sleep down. The bottom lane rotates in, and that's Big Koro with the first blood, as the next blood is going to come in pretty swiftly as Slow does get slow, but Big Koro over the wall instantly as Phong Buffalo spring to life for the double kill.
And Null, the MVP of that fight, dodging out of every damage, landing crucial bubbles. Warangulus potentially under some fire here, will just hop away. But once again, that mid-jungle duo for Phong just coming out trumps.
And that's the thing, we kind of thought that Null maybe wouldn't get too many more looks at Zoe after the first performance he had. As far as, you know, pairing together with your jungler, Zoe is one of the best champions in skirmishes and kind of making them pay with that early double kill for Big Koro, who once again is a recipient of some early gold.
Yeah, exactly right. And that was kind of the one lane where you could see Warangulus and Slow continually had push pressure using the Galio. So they get first rotate here. And it looks like Meliodas has made a mistake. Will get the Slow, will get the full satchel explosion. But this play here, where just full paddle start into the sleep, picks up first blood for the AD carry, and Seiya has just had no priority in his lane, no gank availability as of yet. which means that when he's rotating to the fight, he's a level 5 without ultimate and with no health pool available to him. So effectively they're fighting the 4v3. Quicker rotation could have been the key for Isurus Gaming, but Phong play it very well.
Yeah, priority just was not there, and Seiya, he will get the lane pushed up. He has gone back and finished up that Hextech Revolver as that first key item, but still looking for that level 6, although he is actually ticked over right now.
Yeah, and pretty interesting choice of itemization there, Pastry Time. Obviously not going to be able to afford the Cutlass, but when you go Electrocute, as well as not Cutlass first, your sustain options are very limited. Remember, the change to Akali that kind of brought her back into line is you no longer heal off your Q, which means that until the Gunblade is built up, he's going to struggle against a heavy poke lane in the Zoe. If the all-in doesn't go his way, this lane could get very ugly very quickly.
Yep, still has his cleanse and flash ready. Nor did use his summoners in the last exchange that netted the double kill there, but we'll see if he can kind of get out of the lane right now, finally starting to get some push pressure as Oddie also will make his way down to this lane.
Yeah, no level 6 available yet for Big Horror or Pallet, so still have the window to be able to make the play, but I think Morangulus and Slow kind of give that one away. They're playing very far up a lane in which they're 2 kills down now, not kind of taking a backward step. And this is just giving Meliodas, once again, a lot of time. He's got full control of topside river.
Ward spots in, but there's the door up. Stun almost going to connect. I mean, Pal's got 2 stuns. He's not afraid there.
Yeah, that was really telegraphed. And now it's going to mean Bugax is under fire.
Zeros though going to go in. Cataclysm going to follow in for the dunk. Bugax forced to flash away, but the last shuriken, not quite enough it is. With the challenging smite, it's Melly that grabs the kill.
Yeah, it certainly is. And Meliodas right now is just putting on a jungling clinic over Oddie. Everywhere he goes, he finds success. Perfect weak side play coming out of Big Coral and Pallet as well. And this was one of the lanes that they needed to set up for success. When Bugax plays well, when he's not that liability for this team, they have been able to win games. But, you know, already Oddie spotted bottom side. We said the lockdown is going to be crucial. Aptly pointed out, red buff plus challenging smite, enough damage over time to be able to pick up that kill.
And if there's a player that this team loves to get ahead, it is this guy. Zeros has been smashing people.
Meanwhile, Oddie bottom lane.
The wraparound kick, flash into the kick. There's the taunt as well from So Big Coral, the target. A great glacial fissure though from Pallet. Might buy a little bit more time to heal. Gonna keep him alive for just a few precious seconds longer. Trish grabs the shutdown, but it's a trade as Zeros able to grab the next kill. Now concussive blows, looking to proc there as Melly does get the kill on the top of the screen. Slow, maybe in danger of getting towered over there, but Slow is going to live, needs one more auto, and that's Melly going to try and finish it off. A Dragon Strike snipe, and there's the double kill for the jungler.
And the Goon Squad just shows up. You think you have the right play, you know, 3v2, they live long enough, they dish out so much damage, and the fact that Zeros kept his teleport all throughout laning phase and was able to make that play just speaks volume to how heavily Phong is winning this map.
That first kill finally on the board for Isurus, and maybe some plate gold here for Bugax as well.